High Archons LTHYSS had ruled the Dominion for 6 centuries, presiding over the greatest era of peace the galaxy had ever known. The Treaty of Stellar Harmony, signed 3 millennia ago, had ended the last Great War and established humanity as the galaxy's peacekeepers, mediators who settled disputes with words rather than weapons. Humans were perfect for the role. They possessed an almost supernatural ability to find common ground between warring species, to understand motivations that eluded even the most sophisticated artificial intelligences. For 3,000 years, not a single human had raised a weapon in anger. They had become the galaxy's conscience, its moral compass, which made what happened next so unthinkable. The children had been taken during a cultural exchange program on the neutral world of Kepler Prime. 47 young humans, ages 6 to 16, along with their teachers and guardians. The Dominion's official statement claimed they were protective custody measures following suspicious activities by human diplomatic personnel. In reality, ZAL-THYSS had grown tired of human interference in Dominion expansion plans. The children were leverage, a way to force humanity to step back from their peacekeeping role and allow the Dominion to absorb several contested systems. The response came within hours. Ambassador David Chun, humanity's representative to the Galactic Council for the past 40 years, stood before the assembled delegates. His weathered face bore the lines of someone who had spent decades preventing conflicts, negotiating truces, and building bridges between species who had been enemies for millennia. "We have served this galaxy faithfully for 3,000 years, he began, his voice carrying the weight of accumulated history. "We have mediated your disputes, prevented your wars, and helped forge the longest period of galactic peace in recorded history." The chamber was silent. Every species represented had benefited from human intervention at some point. Trade wars prevented, territorial disputes resolved, ancient grudges laid to rest through patient negotiation. "The Dominion has taken our children," Chun continued. "They have crossed a line that cannot be uncrossed." ZAL-THYSS activated his communication array from his flagship. "Ambassador Chun, surely reasonable beings can. There is nothing reasonable about what you have done." Chen's voice had changed, becoming something the Council had never heard before. "Cold. Final. For 3 millennia, we have chosen peace over power, diplomacy over dominance. We made that choice because we understood the alternative." The massive display screens around the chamber flickered to life, showing star charts of human space. Thousands of systems, colonies, and stations that had been peaceful for longer than most species had existed as spacefaring civilizations. Then the displays changed. Shipyards that hadn't built warships in 3,000 years suddenly showed massive construction efforts. Ancient orbital defense platforms, dormant for millennia, powered up with energy signatures that made the Council's sensors scream warnings. Deep space monitoring stations detected fleet movements on a scale that defied comprehension. "You seem to have forgotten something important about humans," Chun said as the displays showed more and more military assets coming online. "We didn't become peacekeepers because we were weak. We became peacekeepers because we were too dangerous to be anything else." Archon ZAL-THYSS watched from his command ship as his long-range sensors detected the approaching human fleet. The readings were impossible. Hundreds of thousands of vessels, their technology signatures decades ahead of anything in the Dominion's arsenal. "Ow," he whispered to his tactical officer. "Our intelligence showed no military capability beyond system defense forces." His aide's voice trembled. "Sir, we may have misunderstood their development priorities. While we focused on conquest, they appear to have spent 3,000 years perfecting the art of war." The lead human vessel established communication. The face that appeared on screen belonged to Admiral Sarah Mitchell, her uniform bearing insignia from conflicts so ancient that most species had forgotten they ever occurred. "High Archon ZAL-THYSS," she said with deadly calm. "You have committed an act of war against the species that has maintained galactic peace for 3 millennia. We are not coming to negotiate. We are coming to retrieve our children and ensure this never happens again." The communication cut to a tactical display showing the Dominion's core worlds. Each was now bracketed by targeting indicators from weapons platforms that shouldn't have existed. "We gave you peace for 3,000 years," came Chen's voice over all Dominion frequencies. "You chose war instead. So be it." The galaxy watched in stunned silence as humanity's true nature revealed itself. They hadn't abandoned the arts of war. They had perfected them while ensuring no one else would need them. The children were returned within 72 hours. The Dominion surrendered within a week. Peace returned to the galaxy, enforced now by a species that had proven they could end civilizations as easily as they had once saved them.